I am good.
Hey, got you all locked. And what are we working on today?
My lesson plan thing.
Okay. Take a look at it.
Um, I think we were kind of like on the element 6 last time. Sure there.
Okay, tell me about how you're um, doing element 6.
Um, I'm not sure because like last time it was the way I had was different. I just what I have here right now is I used what I had in the previous one, those words here, and I added what I would really need to add there, but I'm not sure is it answering those questions up there in the elements.
What are your vocab words that you're doing?
I'm not in the book itself. It does have like a little bit of vocab thing at the end of the book, like compost, earth day, earthling, manatee, protect and reuse. That's the end of the book. Um, kind of not really, but kind of yes in some ways.
Well, if it's, I feel like that's not like a really kind, like that's either a yes or no thing. So if you want to include them, I would. You don't think that's something you want to do, then that's
Because there is those like little words. If the kids don't really understand some of the words, in the back of the book, I can go there to like
so that's
explain
not a
it too.
question you really want to answer here.
Um, because I kind of mentioned it here, but I think I didn't go back to. I think I did, but like yeah, I did. Somewhere too.
And where did, what do you mean you did? You did what?
With the words, the so-called the vocab part, I think I in maybe the in the directions instruction part, I kind of went back, kind of like said I would like right have those little vocab words like put it up for them to see there.
So I, your teacher wants them listed here.
So I should add them here then. Okay. It would be okay. I added those to the stuff at the back of the book.
Perfect. And then let's go on. If you scroll back up, I can see them. What other language functions will students need to know in order to succeed in this lesson? What'd you say for that?
Um, hmm. Oh, I think for those I didn't really answer those, I think.
Okay, do you have an answer for that?
Um, what?
If not, just highlight that and make sure you have a clear answer for that.
Yeah, I really think I don't have the answer for this in here.
Yeah, just highlight that and make sure you get that.
Don't have that in there.
Okay, and then what evidence-based supports will you provide to help students and your class as a whole succeed? Think about how you might differentiate instruction for individual and groups of students in your whole class to help them grasp the vocabulary or syntax that you're going to use in the lesson. On whose theory are you basing the supports? Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so let's start with the first part. What evidence-based supports will you provide to help individual students and your class as a whole succeed?
Oh yeah, it seems like for this part I also didn't have that too, but I have it about the theory later in there for that
All right.
theory section.
I would highlight that one and then add it to this section.
Okay.
Even if it's a little repetitive, like if your teacher's asking you for it, you know.
Yeah, she did say I can like combine some, but like it was really
Yeah. You know, it's always good to do too much rather than too little to make sure you got all your bases covered, you know.
yes.
All right, let's go to the next one then.
Okay. The next one is so-called the materials here. Yeah.
Okay. So it looks like you have a list of all your instruction materials.
Yes.
Do you have any print materials that you have attached?
I kind of attached it like a picture here of
Right.
them.
Yeah, nice.
And then
And
my so-called
obviously,
reference here. I referenced the bigger book and not really the little book, the picture book I will be reading. I'm not sure what I need to do that too, since I have that
I
one.
would, if that's in there, I mean, obviously, like you can't attach a copy to it,
Uh,
but I would, you know, just like put that in there.
the reference
However,
for the other book.
yeah.
Okay. So does the material part here looks okay? Because I do have so-called this one and this one are like backup activities for the planting. These two here, this one and this one
Cool.
are backup.
Nice. And then,
Yeah.
all right, keep going up a little bit more. Let's just make sure we got everything there. You got attached materials, use a variety of, okay, looks like you have a variety. Use worksheets sparingly, require learners to engage. Do you think because you said those are just backup, do you think you're using worksheets pretty sparingly?
Um, I think for this part, the only so-called paper-ish part of activity for this lesson is the drawing only. Really,
Yeah.
it's just the drawing. The paper drawing paper is the only part for it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it says select, adapt, and create activities that are authentic and engaging and tailored specifically to your class and learners. Think about the learners in front of you. Do you feel like you've done that?
Um, I think I'm not sure from what I have here.
Yeah, I mean, that one's kind of more tricky to, you know, it's like that's pretty subjective. You know, it's like
Because I thought this was
but
like mainly just the materials, but the way it's describing it seems like it's a lot more than just the materials here.
well, but I don't know if she wants you to put it like she's not asking you to answer anything. She's just saying, you know, make sure that your activities are authentic and engaging. And you've done your best to make it authentic and engaging, right?
Yeah, I did. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can really do there. You know, it's like unfortunately that one's pretty subjective. Okay, and then provide acknowledgments and references for both your learning strategies and content in APA format. It looks like you have that too, right?
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I think this is the APA, but the book one for that this one is a big book. I'm not sure is there like more to like the book kind of APA format here. Because then I copied this from the I think this was from the NEIU library of this book already. This is how they formatted it for the APA.
Which book are you talking about?
This book right here. This reference. Oops. This
For some reason, I can't see your mouse, so I'm not able to tell which one. Okay, there.
This reference.
Okay, cool. I mean, I don't think there's that. What was your question on that one?
I'm not sure. Is it like would I like more to it because I copied it from the website from NEIU.
Oh, to the reference itself.
Yeah, it's like more sections. Like
the reference book's fine.
Like if there's like another little section.
Title and the publisher. That's all you need.
Okay. Yeah. That would be here. Yeah. So is everything answered, seems like, for the materials?
Yeah, it seems like, what do you think?
Um,
It looks like it. I feel like we're able to check off all those boxes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's go on to the next one.
Yes. And the next one is about technology. I won't be using any.
All right, so I feel like that's one we can just skip.
And then this is the next one here.
Planning for a positive learning environment engagement. Planning demonstrates evidence of a positive and collaborative learning environment that encourages positive social interaction. Planning shows evidence of strategies that build learner self-direction and ownership of learning. All right, take me through what you answered here.
This is kind of what I got before from the previous lesson plan with those learning parts here. I just changed some of the wording of here, and then I think it might answer those sections, but not sure for some of these. Yeah.
I mean, this one's a little trickier because she doesn't really give you questions to answer.
Yeah.
So let's just read through this. I'll just read through it really quickly.
Mhm.
Teacher asks 4 questions. Okay. You list some questions. Okay. If you want to scroll down a little bit so I can see the rest.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Students, so you tackle active learning engagement, individual learning, and collaborative learning. Tell me a little bit about this collaborative learning.
I think because these little learning parts here, I got it from another class that's also an early learning childhood class. For this section, for this little template, they had these little things there.
Okay.
I think for the collaborative one, let's look for it. It is. This was. This was.
And I'm not sure. Are you trying to show me something on your screen?
No. I'm just looking at.
Cool. I was like, I can't see it.
Yeah, it was from it's what the other professor had provided for those sections. That's what I used here, but she didn't really describe what those words meant with those. Just had those words, the learnings. She didn't really have a description of what she meant for those learnings.
Like the vocab words?
For these learning here, she didn't really describe what she wants from those kind of learning. She just had those words there for this section in engagement.
Gotcha. So do you know what collaborative learning is then? Is that what you're asking? Or you're not sure about?
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I think that might be, but not sure.
Yeah, collaborative learning is just like it. Like I think you're on the right track with like group learning and like learning from each other and working, like learning how to work as a group, basically.
Hmm.
So, okay, so you think that this has enough of collaborative learning?
Because what I will be doing is like uh, uh for that part, I think so because there will be talking and then like there'll be the interacting with the both the classmates and the teachers. Yeah, I'm not sure what's like the kind of talking with the classmates and teachers during the little drawing and the planting will be okay for that part because that's what's really going to happen during that day for the activity. It's mainly those. So yeah.
Okay. All right, let's keep going. All right, time management. Planning for a positive learning environment, time management. Planning shows evidence of appropriate pacing. Planning shows evidence of a backup plan and for the class and individuals in case some parts of the lesson take longer and shorter time than planned. Okay, so you said 30 minutes, about 5 to 10 minutes, then showing the growth, how plants grow, about 5 minutes. Students will have 5 to 10 minutes to talk to each other. Students spend 5 to 10 minutes planting their flower seeds. Cotton balls with seeds and soil in the cup inside the Ziploc bag. And then backup plan for class and individuals. Students will finish at various times and finish their wash their hands, clean up their work area. Students can do the yellow and blue sorting activity on the deck if there's extra time. Finish. Students complete a color exercise. If you want to scroll down a little bit, and I could bring this. The yellow and blue. Okay. What do you think about this one? Do you think he answered all that?
I think so for this.
Okay.
I think.
Let's just double check it. Planning shows evidence of appropriate pacing. So you have about 5. Let's do the minimum would be 5, 10, 15, 20. And then the max would be 10, 15, 25, 30. Yeah, so like 20 to 35 minutes. That seems about right. You know, the 35 would only be if everything took 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have a backup plan, so I would say that's got it all covered. Cool.
And then this is the directions for the lesson.
Step-by-step instructions using a numbered list. Describe exactly what you will do and what students will do during the lesson. Elicit actions that engage children in active learning. Sure, your lesson builds upon students' prior knowledge. HOTS ask questions at all levels of Bloom's taxonomy into order. Correctly identify questions according to Bloom's taxonomy. Include transition plans, i.e. the techniques you will use to move children from one part of a day into the next. Include management and safety. All right, cool. So first, it looks like we can just knock out, you already have it numbered, right?
Yes.
Cool. If you scroll down a little bit so I can see the whole thing. Okay. Cool. Okay, so start off with pre-reading. Then you go into modeling, gather, ask some questions, we'll read, we'll show students, and then show students of the stages. All right, keep scrolling down.
Okay.
Students will explain, teacher will dismiss, students will sit on the carpet, students will listen to the teacher, students will answer questions. Okay, checking for understanding. If you want to scroll down to the next part.
Yes.
Okay, cool, guided practice. All right, if you want to keep scrolling.
Yes.
Okay, nice, nice. And I'm just kind of skimming it at this point. And then if you want to keep scrolling to the end. Awesome. Okay, cool. If you want to go back up to the top, the blue section, we'll just double check that we've got all these out.
Okay, here you go.
Thank you. So you do have it numbered, check. Ensure that your lesson builds upon students' prior knowledge. I think we already talked about that, right?
I think so.
And I don't think she needs you to answer that here. Like, be like, oh, but if you're worried about that, maybe that'd be. Ask questions at all levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Integrate higher order thinking and problem solving. Correctly identify questions according to Bloom's taxonomy. Tell me about this one, what Bloom's taxonomy is and how you incorporate it.
This is so-called kind of like the this is the objective part. The objectives
So what's Bloom's taxonomy?
is really the writing of the objectives, like the wording. The like from the objective way is like the knowledge, comprehension, application, analyze, synthesize, and evaluating. It's like what I from the mainly from the objectives is what this is from.
So, but like, okay. And how did you incorporate that and identify those questions?
I think the questions I have here, there are kind of mainly just on the books, and
So it's like one that you might need to look back on a little bit more.
in here the directions I didn't. It seems that I don't really have that many questions.
All right, so maybe just highlight that one and come back and make sure you get that included.
The questions part.
Yeah.
It's this
that
one.
Part's best spots.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it sounds like she wants you to label, like this one's evaluate, this one's create, apply, understand, remember. It sounds like she kind of wants you to label.
Also do the labeling. Okay. Yes. Okay.
And then include transition plans. Do you think you included transition plans?
I'm not sure. Would that be like the ending part, like in the closure? Would
So
that be?
I think what it's asking is like when you're going from books to seed planting, how are you going to get the students to transition?
I think I kind of did in here somewhere. In uh, mm, I think I kind of did in some ways. Maybe in the modeling here about the transition in some ways. So I'm going to the the teacher part.
Cool. All right. And then what was the last one on the instructions? What was the last one?
Yeah, management and safety.
Management and safety, if applicable. Do you think it's applicable?
What's the management part?
I'm not too sure. That might be something you could ask your teacher. I wouldn't know. Like when I think of management, I guess I think of like organization or like kind of like leadership, but I think that's kind of the whole lesson plan is like management. So I'm not too sure what she means about management here.
Is it like time maybe?
Maybe, but I feel like you already covered time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure why it's looped in with safety and if applicable.
Yeah.
So I would maybe ask your teacher what that one means.
Okay.
It sounds like it's not too big of a deal because she puts if applicable in there. Sounds like that's not something she's going to be like, you didn't have management, but I would maybe ask just to be sure.
Okay, yes. Okay, for that part.
Yeah, because in a teaching context, I wish I could tell you, but
for this part. Okay, yes. Okay.
And with safety, is there anything that you could see students getting hurt or not feeling safe in this?
Um, for this part, this little activity, I think, maybe with the planting part,
Okay, are they using any tools?
I meant, for the planting, it'll be like a mini shovel-ish kind of like little thing to put the dirt into the stuff. But I don't think there will be any like injuries happening if I'll be with them during that planting part of the
Is
activity.
it a metal shovel?
It's like a little plastic one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that might be. You might put something in like, like I'll be watching to make sure people aren't fighting with the shovels. I don't know. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, that sounds pretty safe.
So add
Maybe
some
just like putting a
safeties.
little something like I'll keep my eye on the students with the shovel. That might be enough.
Okay. Also, I need to add that. Okay. Yes. Okay. For that.
That section looks pretty good though. Once you get that Bloom's taxonomy kind of more labeled.
Uh-huh. Okay. And then maybe the safety part too. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't sound this. It sounds like I agree. It doesn't sound like there's too much that people would get hurt with.
Uh-huh. Okay. And then here's
Application of learning theory. Okay, cool. It's good. You added that constructionism learning theory. And support teacher. Okay, so application of learning theory. Lesson plan demonstrates how instructional activities are connected to and supported by established learning theories. Teacher candidate articulates the theories and how they support the choices that they make. So the theory I used is constructionism. This lesson plan follows the format of how students learn through reinforcement ideas and visual aids. When I show students the example of how plants grow from how plants grow, it can help students practice good earth day behaviors. Students will learn how to associate their learning from listening to stories and planting seeds to observe. Main idea of learning is to enforce good earth day behavior.
I'm not sure what that part I still keep or delete out from here if it don't make sense.
I mean, I don't think there's anything you need to delete. I think that's all really good. Personally, from mine, I would like to know a little bit more about like,
What the theory is?
yeah, or more like specifically how your plan relates to the theory. You have the through reinforcement of ideas and visual aids. I think maybe just expanding on that, kind of what that, because I think that's correct. And I think a little bit of expansion on that might help.
For that part. Okay.
Yeah, the learn through reinforcement. Because I think that's kind of like what I would want to know more about how that applies to constructivism learning.
For this part, okay.
Yeah, but I think you're on the right track.
Maybe add more here. Okay.
Yeah, especially the reinforcement of ideas. I think like talking about how you're reinforcing like prior learning.
Yeah.
Or you look at construction. Okay, so it's based on the idea that knowledge is not passively received, but is actively built through experience, reflection, and social interaction. So yeah, I think like, you're giving them an experience of planting and kind of just making sure that you really are focusing on how this is, how you're like guiding them through this active learning process. But I think you're on the right track.
Okay. For here. Okay.
Yeah. And then do you want to move on to element 13 or is there any other questions you had on this one?
So does it seem like I answered all the questions in this section?
I mean, I think if you expand on that, and how it applies to constructivism, I think, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay then. Then here's the next one.
Accommodations. How will you use the scaffolding to help students struggling to understand the lessons? principles of universal design for learning will you use? Okay, so developmental learning disabilities. Talk me through kind of what you put in there.
At this part, I just really for this section, I think it's mainly what I had previous in that other one too.
That makes sense.
Because
I
it's
think it's
practically almost the same thing. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Did you feel like it worked well last time?
I didn't really have this part down last time and like have it written out, but this is what I observed from when I did the thing.
Yeah, and it makes sense that it's pretty similar because obviously if it's working, then why would you change it, you know? So I wouldn't worry about like changing this up because when you're helping students with IEPs, it should be consistent, you know? Cool. If you scroll down a little bit, I'll kind of see this whole section. Okay, cool. Tell me about these principles of universal design.
Um, this part, mm,
Tell me about universal design in general.
this so-called what it is really is the way of learning for the kids. Yeah.
And how is it different from other ways?
So-called this is the how like the describing how they are learning the different ways really kind of in some ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not sure if I understand what it is, so I'm not sure if I how much I can help you.
Uh-huh. Because there was that little link right here. That's where I kind of got the information for this part. This little link here was what I got for here for this little principle.
Understanding of universal design.
Um, um I
Oh, and I can't see the link you just opened because it's only sharing the one screen.
yeah. This is what that little link pops up to. Yeah.
Some engagement, representation, action, instruction. Okay.
Yeah, this is what I was kind of looking at the what, why, and how.
Okay, cool. Now let's look through what you got.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you have a lot here,
Mhm.
and looks like you really thought it through with your lesson plan. Cool. Was there any area that in here that you were unsure about?
I think maybe either the affective network here. I'm not sure.
Where
Maybe.
did you get the phrase effective network from?
Let me see. I think I got it from when I had the other class that's also had this little lesson plan thing. That's where I got it from. I think it
What is
was.
an effective network?
I think that's where I got this from. Mm, Yeah, the we could share what that other one had. This is the examples they had for their thing.
Okay.
The ones in red. Yeah. For those sections.
Okay.
Yeah. This
Cool.
is that's where I got these little things from. It was from here. So does this seem I answer those things then?
I'm not familiar enough with universal design principles to like be sure, but it
Uh-huh.
seems like you were pretty thorough with this.
Uh-huh.
Um, I would, if you're unsure, I would do some more research on universal design
Uh-huh.
and get pretty familiar with it. Um, and then kind of like look back and see and make sure you got all those things. If you need to edit your lesson plan a little bit to like fit it, then do that too.
Yeah.
But sorry, I'm just not too familiar with universal design.
Uh-huh.
But from a writing perspective, it looks well organized. It looks like you've um, it looks pretty logical to me, and it like the writing looks good. So I would just maybe read up a little bit more on universal design
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that you hit all those areas. But it looks like from my
Uh-huh.
perspective, I don't see any problems with it. So.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay.
Well, what about assessment?
Here is what I have.
Okay. How will students be assessed? What type of documentation? Assessment tool or strategy is aligned with standards. MBOs. What are MBOs?
Um, uh, BOs. I actually don't know. Yeah.
Give that one a highlight then. Um, Look that up and then check and make sure you have that included.
I actually don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't either. And then
MBOs.
central focus and instructional procedure assessment tool is attached. Okay, informally assess the students. Okay, nice, I like that. And you have an evaluation form. Awesome.
Yeah.
The students were provided paper to draw what they think the plant will look like and write their names. Okay. Students will also be planting a flower. Each student will have a zip block. Review the students' drawings and plants are complete. Students are able to tell the teacher what they drew.
I'm not sure is that okay. And like before, like for the other one, my professor said that the little activity worksheet was okay for like the assessment part already. So I'm not sure like what I the checklist was like a bit.
Let me see that evaluation form.
This is what I had last time for the other one.
Okay.
You can see.
I would maybe think about adding like just some little, like, you know, I would say it could be something as simple as like, here is where I expect students to get by the end of the class. If they have, then they got it. If not, or just like, maybe putting something specific that will let if a student succeeded or didn't, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it could just be, you don't have to, write a test or anything. It could just be like, did the student draw a picture? Did the student, understand how to make plant the plant?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of just more like, how are you going to know that they succeed?
Okay. I meant
I
like.
like the
Mhm.
evaluation form.
Okay. Is this okay? This is what I had before for the other one too.
Was she okay with it?
I meant well, she didn't say anything about this part. It wasn't for her. What she saw here wasn't really a checklist. She saw it as a rating scale here, so it was a rating scale.
I mean, as long as she had no problems with it, if she liked it last time, then you're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So you think is this okay for the assessment here right now?
I would add something a little bit like something small,
Uh-huh.
specific, but if your teacher, like, it doesn't matter what I think, it matters what your teacher
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
thinks.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if your teacher liked it last time, then I don't see why you would change anything.
Okay. Yeah, the MBO, I'm not sure. She
Yeah, I would just double check that.
for that.
And then, yeah, maybe if you wanted to add something specific of what you'd be looking for while you're filling out that evaluation form, that might be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Like things you're checking while they're doing the drawing, things you're checking while they're doing the plants or while you're reading.
Okay.
All right, what's the next section?
The last part is so-called the reflection here.
Reflect on your reading, reflect on your instruction. Is this done after?
It's so-called, yeah, she wants the reflection to be like done after she gives the feedback and like the day after. Or like after I present it and she sees everything and then I type it up and then turn it in officially to her.
Cool. Cool. So you don't have anything for this one yet?
At the moment, yes, there's nothing there. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, cool. Awesome. How you feeling about it?
Uh, it feels like it's so-called, it feels like I'm done writing it at this time. Maybe just go back to add a little more, but I feel like it's done.
Sections highlighted. Um, if if you're feeling worried about it, just make it simple. Go through the checklist that she gave you.
Mm-hmm.
If you have it, check it off and don't worry about it anymore. You don't add it, check it off, and then don't worry about
Yeah, it's yeah. Just maybe the going back to add some more to the stuff, and then I think I might be good with everything.
it. Yeah, I mean, it looks a lot more thorough than the last one, which is good.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, cool. Anything else that I can help you with today, Mandy?
Um, um, I think that might be all for now. Then.
Well, good luck on your lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it goes well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll see you again so I can hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, so I will log you out.
Yes.
I'm going to say today we met online and we went over, I'll say we reviewed Andy's lesson plan and got ready for her lesson. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Anything else you want me to add in there?
I think that's all.
All right. Well, you have a good rest of your day, Mandy.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Oh, gosh. Save. Hello? Time to eat?
It's big.
You no come and ask me.
I thought you were touring. You told me I'm a fire for touring.
I thought you're too fancy.